Now, surface area of pyramids and cones and spheres. Oh my. Well, first, I guess we can get the easy one out of the way. The sphere or the ball, the surface area is 4 pi r squared. So simply, if they give you, I guess I'll make it a little prettier. The radius is, let's say, 5. It would just be 4 pi, 5 squared. So 25 times 4, 100 pi. I let my students leave it in terms of pi just because that's an exact answer. But it's according to what your teacher, professor wants you to do. The way that I like to think of where the formula came up from, it's not really, but notice how you can have a circle this way. You can have a circle this way. You can have one this way. And you can have one that way. So basically, 4 area of the circles. Now that's not actually where it came from, but it is interesting. Anyway, now to the fun stuff, pyramids and cones. Basically, now that was our last video. We had prisms, cylinders, but this one is on pyramids and cones. Now remember, prisms have 2 bases, and prisms in particular have rectangles for sides. Well, cones and pyramids obviously come to a point. Circular cone, and then of course triangular and square pyramids. Notice how no matter how many sides that are in the base, the lateral sides are always triangles. So that's going to come into play with our particular formula. So now remember, there are different formulas that apply to particular things, but my general rule of thumb is I like to find something that applies to several and just memorize one thing and learn the applications, but it's up to you. Now, like spheres, that's it. There's nothing to apply. But pyramids and cones, notice how they only have one base. So, to find the surface area, you've got one base plus the lateral areas. Well, as far as for this one, for pyramids, you know they're all triangles. So they all have the same slant height, in other words, that height there. And then they all have, if it's a regular pyramid, they all have the same dimensions. But it could be a rectangular one where it was opposite sides equal. But if you wanted to find the sides, notice how similar, because remember prisms, I'll write over here, prisms and cylinders, we had 2 bases, and then it was perimeter times the height. Well, with cones and pyramids, it's area of the base plus, it's still perimeter times height, but since they are triangles, 1/2 base times height. And actually, we don't want the true height. We want the slant height. That way it gives us these actual triangles. So, that being said, let's say for instance, we've got a cone. Let's say we've got radius 6, slant height 10. If I want to find the surface area, well, the area of the base, pi r squared, 36 pi, and I want to add 1/2 perimeter of the circle, which is circumference, times the slant height. So notice how you just get radius 6, 60 pi. Because 120 divided by 2, or 6 times 10, add them up, 96 pi. Now, technically for a cone, the formula is pi r squared plus pi rs. And now if you notice, area of one base plus, 1/2 circumference, so that's where the 2's cancel, pi rs. So if you want to just apply the formula, you can, or you can reason through with this one. Now let's say our square pyramid. Have mercy! Cocoa and sugar? Scared the daylights out of me. Heathens? Okay, and let's say that's our slant height. I know y'all just have to deal with my drawings. 12. Well, if I wanted to find the surface area, well, first we've got the area of the base, which wonderfully is a square, so 8 times 8, 64. Plus, now literally you could find the area of one of these triangles, and since there's 4, multiply by 4, but you could just do perimeter, which is 8, 8, 8, and 8, or 32. Don't get the 1/2, so 1/2 perimeter times slant height. So 64 plus, you could do 16 times 12, or 12 times 16. What is that? 72 and 12, so 192. Am I adding right? Yes, 6, 15, 1, 256. And remember with surface area, like let's say if that was feet, surface area and just like area, units are squared. Let's even say if they gave us a funky rectangle pyramid. We'll say slant height is 9. And we'll say 6 and 11. So if we wanted to find the surface area, area of the base, so 6 times 11, 66, plus 1/2 perimeter, 17 and 17, 34, slant height of 9, so 17 times 9, 63, 6, 153, yeah, we'll say so, plus 66, that still bothers me, 6, yeah, okay, so 9, 11, 219. Now, like I said, of course, you could have more unique figures if you had something like, let's say, a hexagonal pyramid. It would still work the same. They just had, like, let's say, maybe 3, 5, and we'll say slant height is 6. Well, first, you've got the area of the base, so 1/2 apothem times perimeter, so 6 times 5, 30. So 45 for the area of the base, plus 1/2 perimeter, 30, slant height, 6. So same formula, it's just you had a hexagon to deal with. So 90 and 45, 135. So to recap, for a pyramid or a cone, one base, and since it's triangles, it's 1/2 perimeter times the slant height. Spheres, 4 pi r squared. Hope this was of help to you. Have a great day.